What's up, darling?
So we're at Prophetstown State Park in Delphi, Indiana, just outside of Lafayette, meeting up with a couple of friends here, and they both have cargo trailers that they have converted. I couldn't think of the right word, that they've converted into camping trailers. So one is pretty much done, and then the other one is in process. So we're looking really forward to learning, seeing what they've come up with. But you really like this idea of building out a cargo trailer?
It's work.
It's work, yes. But just like with the house,
Yes.
when we're done, we were like, wow, we did this. Yep. And so there's definitely that pride of ownership.
Exactly what it is.
And yeah. So we're very proud of what we did in the tiny house. So that would be an accomplishment as well. Yep. Okay, we're gonna give you a couple tours here. Huge thanks to both families for opening up their home away from home for us. Be sure to show them some love in the comments and check out their channels.
All right, my name's Ed, and I'm with Get Out, Be Happy, if you want to check out our YouTube channel. But this is our 7x14 aluminum Vinos. And starting off, I took two undermount truck boxes, put them side by side to put our mini split on. I swapped out the jack so I could, the other one spun from the top. This is from the front, and I can put my drill on it.
So that was a really good idea, putting the two of them back to back like that. I don't know that I've seen anybody do that either.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We did have this built out for us with the camper door, Gerard awning, 2 windows.
Okay, so you ordered it with all of those already in place?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and you have a Wii Boost.
Yeah, it's not fully hooked up.
Okay.
I just mounted it. Haven't run the wiring in it yet.
And so you do have shore power.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've thought about doing an axle flip. I don't know if I will or not, just to raise it up.
So that's what I was going to say. So I was listening to you guys talk over there. So when you flip the axle, that gives you more lift.
Yes. We were expecting them to come out a lot further. They come out about, 5 inches.
Oh, okay.
But, I told them I wanted emergency escape windows. So these are what we got. And, I can always, if need be, but.
You can get out. Yeah. Very nice. And you don't have any problems with this, like riding or going down the road or anything?
No, I have a cover that goes over it.
Okay.
I cover it up. But no, it goes down the road just fine.
Love the color choice too. The green.
Yeah, we like it. We debated, back and forth on what shades to go with, but
Are there lights built into the awning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I was just seeing that. Nice.
Hit the right button. No, not that one.
Oh, it's an automatic too. Oh, there we go.
So,
Oh, very cool.
makes it nice. Had that built-in, added with the build out.
Does it have the wind protection, or does it really?
Yeah, so if it gets too much,
starts bouncing
around too much, it will auto retract.
Oh, very cool.
Now,
I love the nice white door.
Yeah, that is really nice. We really like it. Now we're still most definitely in process of the build. As you can see, we got shiplap started on the walls here and the ceiling. We got that started, but it's been great. right now we're just using a 5-gallon jug for fresh water, a 3-gallon jug for our gray, and here we just have IKEA totes that are slid in here for our kitchen, nice and lightweight.
I like that idea.
These racks here we'll just take off and put them into a tote while we're traveling because they'll just pop right off. But again, more IKEA stuff. I have 1,200 watts of, 1,200 amp hours of battery with 800 watts of solar. And so I decided to go with a 120 volt because I can buy this a lot cheaper than a 12 volt and up my battery, which I come out way ahead. We're using closet-made shelving, just flipped upside down to hold baskets in.
Oh, that's a good idea. Clever.
For all our clothing and accessories. And then I have a little net here that will come up here and mount. But that's here in the middle. It's covered up right now, but I actually have 2 bike chalks here.
Oh, that startled me. I thought I had stepped on something.
So I have 2 bike chalks here that we put our e-bikes in while we're traveling.
Oh, and they both fit between the beds.
Yeah, I have them just offset from each other a little bit.
Okay. And do the back doors open still?
Yeah. The back doors open as barn doors, and I have our electrical over here, and then a lot of storage under both of them.
Okay.
But then back here, which I like, it's just got all this storage underneath the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Have room for the bikes.
Under there.
So it works out great for us. We enjoy it, nice and small. We recently got 2 little dogs, and that's kind of shrunk down the room a little bit.
But this is going to be like the bathroom eventually?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
So our original thought, because this end goes down, was to put a shower pan right here and have a little shower, low flow shower, just to get cleaned up. And now with the dogs, we're not sure. I might still put it in and just, put the bed on top of the shower pan.
Okay.
Because we won't be using it all the time.
Right.
And so, pardon the wiring. I hate the wiring. But it's just getting us by until we finish up. And I'm going to put chaseways up to run the wiring in.
Fan. Oh, you've got a couple fans.
Yes.
In the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very cool. So this is something we're considering.
Yep.
We're thinking about it.
Yeah, I would just, if you guys were to do it, I'd say get the polycore siding.
Okay.
Not the aluminum.
And you have the aluminum?
We have the aluminum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4 300 amp batteries under there. Have a ton of power. We decided to go with the 2 separate beds, so in the night when we got to get up and use the restroom, we can easily get up. And
You can't steal the blanket from me.
You're the blanket thief.
I said it first.
Impressed, because we're so used to ours, just walking in how much open room there is. Like you walk in and you don't feel...
I was thinking about just standing up.
Just standing up.
well, that's why we got it. And it's not for me, it's for Laura.
Mm-hmm.
In ours, this is all I got.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Well, and that's how it was in the Runaway, too. Yeah, because you had the Runaway.
Yep, and she was in a lot of physical pain when we be camping.
Well, and that's how he is. Right. Yep. His shoulders and knees and things like that.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina.
So that's a good point, though, that you were saying, when you build it yourself, you know everything. Mm-hmm. You know what everything is and how everything is connected. No, I had not noticed that. So that's how they have hot water. Diesel heater there.
My name's Nathan. I've got a YouTube channel called Axiom Trailer Build. That's AXIOM Trailer Build. But this trailer is what I've named the Axiom. And it is a 6 wide, 14 long to the start of the V, 6.5 tall cargo trailer. And originally purchased in 2020, spring of 2020, as just a brand new trailer, completely stock with no upgrades or changes to it or whatever. It already came with the RV style door and handle on the side, single axle obviously. I added brakes to it after about the first year just to kind of aid in stocking ability and whatnot. After getting the trailer, I've added 1150 watts of solar on top. So there's basically just edge-to-edge solar panels across the top, mounted on top here with some angle aluminum.
Okay, you can kind of see.
Yeah, those are screwed down to the cross members of the trailer frame underneath the metal roof, and then they're screwed over into the solar panels as well. That's worked very well for us. They're held up about an inch off of that metal roof for some airflow underneath it. And so there's actually 400 watts on this side and 750 on the other side, giving us 1150. And with that, wife's currently running. We're actually at an electric campsite, but not even plugged in. But the wife's running microwave inside, running off the batteries, off the inverter, recharged by the solar. Last night, I think we got down to, this morning it was about 90%, and it recharged on a fully sunny day. Recharged, I think, by about 11 o'clock. So there's 900 amp hours of watt cycle batteries on the inside. I've got whatever brand solar panels. I don't think brand on solar panels is all that important, honestly.
Yeah.
They are glass panels. Inside the front here, we've got a small bathroom. You can step past me or what if you'd like, but small bathroom with a flush toilet going into a black tank. And then there's a stand-up shower stall that's, I think, about 36 by 39, if I remember correctly. And that's heated. The water for that's heated with a propane on-demand water heater. We just attach that to the tongue of the trailer, and that way we don't have any combustion gases or exhaust on the inside. So you have essentially unlimited shower hot water for that.
I like the corrugated.
That's worked.
Worked really well.
Very well for us.
Trying to stay.
It was fairly easy to install, and the floor of the shower, underneath those wood slats, which is just meant to stand on and have the water flow through. But underneath those wood slats is a white TPO rubber roof that comes up the sides about 12 inches.
Okay.
And is durable enough to be on a commercial building for 40 years and has been in this trailer for 6 years with zero problems.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And it's actually, the drain that you can see just the edge of right there is actually a bar sink strainer basket drain. And that's fit into the top of the gray tank with just a typical tank grommet. And so it actually just friction fits in there, although I did silicone it in there. And that's worked very, very well.
And so this is in the V.
Yeah. So this is the V, and then
Yeah, great use of that space.
Yeah, so we've got kind of a linen cabinet over there for towels and toiletries and whatnot. And then there's actually, back in that corner, there's actually some of the, basically the pressurized cold water comes up here, splits off to some shut-off valves that then can drop underneath the trailer through a portal. And then we connect the water heater on the front tongue there. So it's 30 seconds to connect the water heater, and you've got hot water if you want it.
Okay.
The shower is for a propane on-demand water heater. Let me step in here and I'll show you. They have just on a propane hot water heater, on an on-demand style. It's meant to adjust the temperature at the water heater itself, and just get one temperature in. So the shower head, the handheld here, has a on-off switch to help conserve water. And so you just really would technically just give it one temperature. I've got what I call Frankenstein projects of kind of MacGyver engineer different things, but there's 3 different ways that I can heat water for the trailer. So one is the simple one, which is the propane on demand. In the summertime, the air conditioner, which is behind this door, is expelling constant hot air as it's cooling the trailer. So actually off grid, if I want with the exhaust heat off the air conditioner, I ran a loop through a couple heat exchangers behind the air conditioner that I can actually, on a 85 degree day, I can have endless 120 degree water coming
Wow.
off of the air conditioner. And so that's why there's a couple different pipe setups in here.
Okay.
We added this temperature balancing valve that you can kind of select the temperature a little bit better, so that adds some cold water into it to whatever temperature you want, from I think 68 degrees to 121 degrees.
Okay.
So that's done a nice job to help balance that. And we boondock quite a lot, so to try to preserve how much water we are going through when we're camping, the hot water actually, the shower water actually comes up to here and potentially runs down to here. That's cold water coming into that temperature balancing valve. And then the second half of this T here is actually a return line to my water tank. So if, right now it's not pressurized, but if it was pressurized, I could open this valve here, which is currently stopping the flow of that water. But if I open that valve, there's another pipe that just sends water straight back to the tank. So as you're trying to get hot water from the water heater to here, you've got about 10 feet of line, and the pipes are going to be cold. And so with just opening that valve, it'll just send that water straight back to the tank instead of, dancing around the shower and avoiding the cold water and running down
Letting it run into the gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to the gray, but straight back to a fresh tank.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
You're not wasting.
Around,
Yeah, if you're just wasting it, right.
Right.
And so we can turn that. And one, if it's, right now it's end of March and it's pretty cold, the faucet water that we fill up with at the park is pretty cold. And so if we're not running hot water and just want to cleanse your hands off in the sink, that water might be 45 or 50 degrees. Well, if I have my water heater hooked up, I can also just turn that on and I'm pumping hot water into my tank. I can warm that up.
Warm the
to
water,
a
right.
more comfortable temperature.
Yeah, nice.
So
Very
that's
clever.
one of the 2 Frankenstein projects on that. With using a diesel heater, I've also got a circulator pump that the hot air comes up with, that black vent is there, and I added another heat exchanger there that I can, while we're heating the trailer with the diesel heater, technically the same amount of hot air is coming to this bathroom as all the rest of the trailer. So if the trailer's comfortable, this is pretty warm.
Yeah.
So that's convenient if it's raining or wintertime and your clothes need dried or your towels need dried. It dries very fast.
Right. Nice warm bathroom.
Yeah. So behind the door here, we've got the cabinet that is kind of like the control center for lighting inside and outside the trailer. We've got a standard car stereo for music inside. We've also got one of the speakers is on a longer cord to where we actually have that setting out at the campsite, so we have music outside if we want. This cubby is really nice because if you want to throw your phone down or a drink or purse or whatever,
You've got chargers in there.
yeah, you can just set it down there. We've got USB and cigarette plug chargers inside there. And then the unique thing about this cabinet is these side walls. There's about a 2 1/4 inch hollow space on the sides that this air conditioner is actually vented from, drawing fresh air from underneath the trailer, coming up these side walls surrounding this air conditioner. And then behind here is part of the dead space of the V-nose that's kind of unusable. That's an insulated chase also that the hot air then expels out the back of the air conditioner through that separate chase and then expels outside from underneath the trailer. So from outside it's not visible at all that there's an air conditioner in here, and we can run this either off shore power, which we almost never do. Mainly it's off solar and battery and inverter power, and we can pretty much run the air conditioner 24/7 in the summertime if we're in a sunny spot.
And you know what all these switches are for.
Every now and again, you have to remember labeling them. It's a pretty clean look right now. And
Yeah.
labeling them wasn't going to take away from that pretty clean look.
Uh-huh.
So
It's beautiful.
it's not that big of a space. You're like, is this the right switch? No, it's the next one. Honey, it's the second one over from the left. That conversation happens on every single time.
Top row or bottom row from the.
Yeah.
And so then the rest of the cabinets is just your typical
Cabinets.
junk drawer type storage, dog leashes, gloves for the dump station, stuff like that. And
Things right there by the door.
yeah. So the metal frame of the trailer is like a normal stud wall. We did an inch of insulation inside the wall and about 3/4 outside of the metal framing. So with those perpendicular furring strips, it creates a thermal break to where you don't have direct transfer of the cold off the metal skin through the metal framing and directly to the backside of your interior walls. So with that additional layer of foam on top, it greatly reduces that thermal transfer. And then inside the trailer here, we've got RV windows that we source from a local RV supplier. They're a tilt-out window. It's a tempered glass. There's normally a screen in here, and I pulled that out because the dogs like to stick their noses out. But it's just a crank-out window, a couple inches. Those are great because year-round, condensation and moisture problems are always a problem in campers. Year-round, except for if I'm heating in the wintertime or on a trip or traveling, I'll have the windows open if it's stored at home. It's stored outside, and with the tilt on those windows, in 6 years, it's never once leaked inside.
Okay.
So we've got a 60-liter ice-cold refrigerator. It's quite deep.
Oh, yeah.
That's the deeper side. There's a more shallow side here where the compressor's underneath it. This one is designed, it runs on 12, 24, 120, or 240 volt, just with plugging in the connectors. It's pretty much 100% of the time it's only ran on 12 volt here in the trailer. It's attached to a shelf that's actually bolted to the frame beneath. And then actually, kind of strange it seems, but there's our lunch button.
There's lunch.
The inverter currently turned off, but yeah, so there's the microwave underneath.
Okay.
I know you guys said you were questioning getting a microwave or not, and we were the same way. We didn't want to have a microwave initially. We wanted to be traditional campsite cooking and all that. And that is a great novelty until you're driving down the road and you want to fix nachos in a truck stop. The microwave is pretty convenient, or if it's raining, you're doing a campfire or a camp stove is not convenient.
Right.
And so
We've actually gone to an electric kettle for heating water because we don't always want to have to break a stove out to make coffee in the morning.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And so we, after about the second year, I think, is when we finally got the microwave. But then we're like, well, where do we place it? And I had mentioned, to my wife, I said, well, actually, if we only come down 2 inches into the window, we could put it right above the sink, which is kind of a centered area like you'd have in your home. She threatened me with great deals of violence about that because she wanted her decor.
This is beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
That very quickly got ejected from the plan, just like I did. And so it doesn't make sense to a lot of people to have a microwave, nearly at your ankles. But for the amount of use you're actually using it, drop it in there. Bend over to see the buttons or whatever and use it, and then it's out of the way for the other 23 and a half hours of the day.
Right.
But typical household coffee maker. My wife runs an air fryer, hair dryer, coffee makers, hair straighteners, literally anything that we need to 120 volt wise we can run inside here off the inverter. Cabinet,
Huge sink.
it's a little bit big. when we went to design this layout, we only had 4.5 feet to be able to fit this, with being able to fit the bed and the bathroom in the front. And initially the plan was I wanted to get a not a typical small RV sink. I wanted one maybe about 25 inches because the comment came up, you know, that I said of I don't want to try to wash a 15-inch skillet in a 12-inch sink. And then this sink was actually given to me by a builder friend of mine, and it was a little bigger than what I wanted. But I was like, well, I mean, it's
The price is right.
yeah, it's a $500 stainless steel undermount full size sink, and that has been really nice because if we get a 27 pound bag of ice, we can just set in it if we wanted to, or
Yeah, you can put a lot of beers in there with ice.
yeah, I mean, whatever you want, whatever you want. You know, typical residential pull-out sprayer. All the cabinets, you know, I built, you know, trying to utilize every single inch of space that's available. I made this little tilt out, and so we can put, you know, baggies and trash bags and aluminum foil in here. You know, small cabinet with, you know, kind of customized utility or utensil storage and dog toys and whatnot. And,
Yeah.
you know, plates and air fryer and, you know, cups and whatnot. You know,
Using,
all your typical, everything you'd have in your kitchen, really.
right, all the space.
Back in here, so this trailer, we originally built it out to sleep 3. So we had a bunk bed on this side, and then the single bed was actually a little bit lower on this side. Our son, who's 22 now, doesn't really camp with mom and dad all that much. And so we deleted his bed on this side, and then with the plan, we shifted this bed up with the plan that if we wanted somewhere to sit and eat or play a
Right.
card game or whatever, you know, we can, you know, this can have dual purpose of a seat and plus a table, you know, prep table, you know, pack a backpack, you know, whatever you want. The beds, I guess we can show the beds just fold down. It's pretty tight here on the inside. Like I said, it's a 6-foot wide trailer. But as I've always said, I didn't build a living room when I built out this trailer. I really wanted it as small as possible to be able to go down Forest Service roads or be towed by any full-size vehicle, you know, without having to get a dually or a 3/4 ton or something like that. So any larger SUV or full-size vehicle can easily pull this trailer. We've got under here, we've got a 30-gallon freshwater tank that I can gravity fill or, you know, hook up for city water, you know, pressurized hookup.
Oh, okay.
But I've got a 30-gallon freshwater tank here. There's actually a 3-stage water filtration under here that's 5 micron, I think half micron, and UV sterilization. So throw in a couple valves that can actually pump water in from like a creek or a stream and sanitize it, sterilize it, and then actually fill the tank, flip some valves, and then pump it back out of that tank again to have pressurized water for the trailer. That's been great because prior to that, we never drank water out of here, and we only did, you know, bottled water, and on a larger trip, you know, cases of bottled water. It's a lot to move around all the time. It's a lot of trash that you develop. And since putting that in, then that gave us complete confidence to just drink the water out of the trailer.
Right.
And that's been in place for about 5 years, changing the filters regularly, and we've had, you know, no ill effects of drinking the water.
Right. So many people are worried about that, drinking out of the tanks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So down here we have, you know, a little bit reduced space now because I've upgraded the batteries and sold a few different times. So this is pretty much where we keep, you know, clothing, you know, change the clothing for the trips and whatnot. And then this side over here is for the, we've got 300 amp hour batteries here, lithium batteries. We've got, actually, if you look from this side, you can see kind of where the devices are, because there's behind these vents here,
Okay.
there's cooling fans that blow into the back of a 2200 watt Guiandel inverter, and then each of these is a Victron solar charge controller. And so the 2 different banks of solar that's on the roof right now, that is controlled by each of these. And then the third one here is actually for if we want to have deployable panels that we set out on the ground, or we have when we've gone to a summertime Oshkosh, event where we camp for 9 to 10 days, and we're running air conditioning the entire time. We'll have additional panels we'll hook up to that other charge controller
Okay.
to supplement our solar. And then this one over here is probably the least used Victron device, which is a shore charger, a 30 amp shore charger. And that one only got used 4 days last year. And like I
Plugging
said,
in at a campsite.
campsite, a campsite or
Shore
generator.
power,
Yeah. So it's almost never used.
And these are the batteries here?
These are the 3 batteries right
Okay.
here. And then if we did want to switch over to shore power, then we actually just charge into the inverter or plug into the inverter just like that.
Okay.
But right back here is actually a twist lock. So if I pull that, then I can directly plug in my 30 amp shore power cord
Okay.
to give the power, the trailer 30 amp power.
Right.
Without that, we're limited to about, I think it's 18 amps is what the conversion is on that. But that's still always fine for what we're using. We've got the drop down ramp that we do have the option of. I've got some walls built for a screened-in porch, so we just level off the ramp, put the four panels out, 3 walls, and the roof. And that's just like a 1x2 seater with a fiberglass screen on it and metal spindles around the base to keep the dogs in. We set that on there. We can extend the use of the trailer by another 6 feet and have, for fair weather, we can have a screen-in porch back there. And then probably the smallest detail that's really nice is this bulkhead that I built over the spring for the ramp door, and I extended this out. A lot of people on cargo trailers, they try and say, well, how can I clean up the ugly look of that spring? So I just added a small piece of 1x on the ceiling and one at the back here. And this kind of installs kind of like a T up there. And so the bottom actually extends out. And the purpose for that was sit there and charge your phone if you want, or
Yeah.
something there. So there's cigarette plugs and USBs across here. Little
Other
fan my
things.
wife likes to run at night. And
Yeah.
then these are some solar disconnects for the, or DC disconnects for the solar panels.
Okay.
The wires coming off the ceiling, or off the roof rather. We've got some additional switches I've added here for some outside scene lighting. If we want to, glow the entire campsite, we can turn those on. And then we've also got a 120 volt receptacle on the back here that if we've used that a few different times for running something off
Stuff
the back
outside.
or whatever.
Okay. Very nice.
Aside from that, we've got a diesel heater that we use to heat, year round if we want. We haven't permanently installed that in here because I didn't want the fumes of diesel fuel or exhaust
Right.
to possibly be in here. So we set that on the ground, and then you want to see that outside?
Pipe it in. Yeah, we can do that. I kind of walked around while you guys were gone.
Okay.
Just walked around the outside, so I saw the diesel heater. But if you want to show us how it's like piped in.
Hook that up is literally unscrew that, pull those hoses out. It's a quick connect on the bottom of the water heater and plug it into a propane tank, and then you've got hot water to go over to it. And then the diesel air heater, this is one that I've built into a metal box. Excuse me, a metal box that I have, or I had, but there's various different versions of this available. So not all of them are going to look like this, but diesel fuel tank, there's a diesel air heater inside, and then the exhaust, I always have it just blowing up so it can kind of get away from the area. People say not to have it going up, and
Yeah.
in 5 years I've never had trouble with it at all. So the controller is inside setting on the counter, and for power I used a 10 gauge SAE style plug. So that's that one there. And then the control wire is actually, so for power is coming in on this one, and then the control wire for the signal is actually a 3-wire. When I went to do this, I had a 4-wire trailer connector that, 1 wire is technically unused, but so to connect those, just like that. That's connected. Those wires also drop out of a
Okay.
little portal I've made. It's like kind of a little, like a sealed section of pipe with those 2 wires in it. So I just double them over, push them up, close that off. That's sealed for traveling down the road, staying dry and whatnot. And then the same thing for kind of from the winter. I had this insulated duct. Normally we don't use this. I just haven't taken it off yet this year. But there's a 3-inch PVC pipe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
With another clean out here. So that right
Just
there
slides. Okay.
fits inside there to separate the fiberglass from it.
Okay.
But it splits off to the front of the toe kick of the cabinet and then around to the bathroom.
Where we
as
saw
well.
it coming up in the bathroom.
Right.
Right. Very clever.
And like I said, we've got
Clean outs.
seam lights on. Seam lights on 3 sides of the trailer. We've got 120 volt plugs on top of both wheel wells, and so sometimes we may even run an air fryer outside or coffee maker
okay.
if we don't want that running inside. So we can plug it in there, run that off the solar.
And Ed was talking about flipping the axles. So
Yeah.
you flipped
Yeah,
the
so-
axles to give it more clearance.
Yeah, so the trailer came with what's called a drop axle. So you've got the axle comes over, it's basically up, and then the spindle comes out like that. And so that actually gives the trailer a lower ride height if you're driving the lawnmower up or something like that. I wanted to be able to fit tanks and drive down a 2-track road and not hit, not drag anything or whatever. So because I already had, I think it's a 3 or 4 inch drop axle on there, I wanted to raise some height. So normally that's mounted on top of the spring. Make sure I'm doing that right. They normally mount on top of the spring, and an axle flip is not turning it this way because it would actually tilt your wheels the wrong way. So an axle flip is basically moving it to underneath the springs. In this case, this trailer has leaf springs, and so doing so, you actually lift the frame of the trailer by 5 inches. Your axle would still be a low point, but for going over different uneven terrain and the articulation between the back of the truck and the front of the trailer, since I have the tanks there, that's basically lifting everything up the 5 inches by doing so. And I haven't drugged the ground. I'll say many times. I think twice.
If you try hard enough, you're still gonna find a.
Yeah, if you go enough fun places, you might. We actually had added 4 computer fans inside this window.
Okay, I wasn't sure what I was seeing there.
Yeah, so there's 4 computer fans that we've got to switch if you're taking a shower or whatever, so you can turn those on. They're completely whisper quiet and very, very well ventilates either the bathroom or even the entire trailer, because if we open all the windows and turn those on, there's just a constant steady breeze coming in, and it's not a rumbling, roaring fan like what some of these other fans are. It's literally, we wouldn't be able to hear it if it was on right now.
Yeah. I get the impression you're like thinking outside of the box kind of
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Some things for us to think about, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Well, we're trying to decide
thank
what
you
we
for the
want to do.
ideas.
Yeah, not a problem. If you got any questions, give me a shout and, give me a subscription. If you want.
Yeah. Again, thanks so much to Ed and Laura and Nate and Amy for sharing their builds with us. We hope you found this as interesting as we did. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.